You are listening to American Tower Climbers.
This is your host,
Brian motherfucking Campbell.
Saddle on up, hold on tight,
and enjoy the ride.
because we will be going live in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to American Tower Climbers' first podcast. My name is Ryan Campbell, and if you don't know me by now, I don't blame you. I'm nothing special. I started American Tower Climbers in around 2014 as just an Instagram page to bring awareness of what we did. To be honest, I was single at the time, and I thought it'd be cool to tell the females, yo, I'm a tower climber, and they automatically would go crazy over me. Well, I found out the public had no idea what tower climbing was. So that kind of backfired. You tell people, hey, I'm a policeman or a fireman or a doctor or a lawyer, and they're like, wow, let me get some of your paycheck. So I thought it'd be cool to kind of bring to the public of what tower climbing is. And now we're here in 2020, and I feel like I've accomplished a little bit of bringing awareness to tower climbing. Anyways, 2020 has been a crazy year, so I decided, you know what, let me go ahead and make it crazier and start a podcast. And what is this podcast going to be about? Everything underneath the sun. I have a lot of stories to tell, and I've heard a lot of stories from you guys, all my tower dog people. So I want to hear your stories. I have a lot of guests that are going to be coming on. This is the first one. This is the intro. Once again, my name is Ryan Campbell. And what I'm going to do on my podcast is the very first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to try to make this a tradition, is have everyone introduce themselves of how they got into tower climbing. So I'm going to ask myself that same question. Ryan Campbell, how did you get into tower climbing? Do you really want to know? Yes. All right, if you really want to know, I grew up in a small town called Chino Hills. And when I first moved there from LA, it was nothing but cornfields and hills, hence the name Chino Hills. I primarily grew up in the country, and I grew up with a lot of my friends. What I mean by that, it was a very small town, but yet there was a lot of teenagers, and we all got along with each other. Man, I think it was like 50. It seems like sometimes 100 people who I grew up with, how many kids I grew up with or teenagers I grew up with through high school. So out of high school, I partied a lot, went to a lot of clubs, went to a lot of bars. That's what I did Monday. As soon as I turned 21, Monday through Sunday, I had a whole schedule. I'm going to this bar, Taco Tuesday in Riverside. I'm going to go down to downtown Fullerton for Thirsty Thursdays on Thursday. Friday, it was maybe LA, maybe Hollywood, etc. So you kind of get my drift here. So I would party every weekend, and me and my boys and homegirls, we'd all go out. So we're out, and this is the first time. The story I'm going to tell you is the first time I met my foreman. And in order to tell you that story, I have to tell you the first time I met my foreman. I can't say his name right now because I don't know if he wants me to shout out his name, but we'll just start with the story, and maybe I'll fill it in with a John Doe, or, you could fill in the blank. I believe it was a Saturday night. We go to downtown Fullerton, and I'm out with my boys, and I got my homegirls. And to be honest, we'd always bring a lot of girls with us, and they were pretty attractive, I would say. They're my homegirls, so I never really looked at them that way. We always protected them. And we rolled in big groups. So every time we went out, it was 20, 30 people. So there was a group of, we call them Montana and Idaho folk, that started hanging out with us. So if you live in LA and in Southern California, we're not very clean cut. And what I mean by that is I'm gonna have some Converse with maybe some Dickie shorts and a red bandana with some tattoos. In a way, we're kind of like hood blemished. I don't know if that makes sense. So none of us fit the part of a clean cut person. So imagine we're in the bar, the girls are wearing skimpy things and really short skirts, and we're just all out there having a good time. And we had a group of guys. I think at that time it was 3 of them. One was from Montana and 2 were from Idaho, right? And they're hanging out with us, and they kind of look not the part. Very clean cut. What I mean by clean cut is they had like a North Face jacket and maybe some khaki pants and some like nice shoes or something. And we're like, you guys look like undercover cops pretty much. So I got to know them, talk to them, and they're pretty cool. And 2 of them were really nice and polite, but one guy, he was nice, but then by the end of the night, he started becoming like a creeper. He was kind of weird. At that time, my ex-girlfriend, he was staring at my girlfriend, kind of weird, and I confronted him. I'm like, yo, what's going on here? He's like, oh, you got a pretty girlfriend. And I'm like, thanks. And I'm like, man, do I got to punch this guy out? So anyways, as the night progresses, this gentleman, we'll call him John Doe, he's pretty faded. He's pretty drunk, and he's having a good time. He's dancing. He's getting along with everyone. I'm like, all right, these guys are cool. And they told me that they started hanging out with one of my friends from work, and they gave him a job, and it was telecom. And at the time, I didn't really care so much what was going on. I was just listening to them and respecting them. And John Doe sees a flock of our females sitting in the corner, and one of them, I think it was one of the girls' birthdays, and we're in downtown Fullerton, and the girls are sitting in the corner, and I could see John Doe, he has this look in his eye like, you know what, I'm going to be Rico Suave and go sit right next to them and, I don't know, say something smooth to them or something. So he walks over there, dun, dun, gives them the look. What's up, ladies? Dun, dun. How's it going? And the girls kind of, like, hey, what's up? They're kind of vibing. So John Doe, he sits down, boom, ankles to his neck. He sat in a trash can. This fool sat in a trash can. His ankles went straight up to his neck. And he's pissed. Get me out of there. He can't get out. He's trying to get out of there. So he thought he's going to be Rico Suave, sit next to a seat. He was so drunk, he thought he was sitting into a seat, but he sat into a trash can. And the girls start laughing at him. I think he got embarrassed. I pull him out of the trash can, and I pull a seat. I'm like, here, sit down. And he's like, no, yeah. And he's like getting kind of combative with me. And I'm like, dude, just don't trip. We don't care. It's fine. And he was pissed. And so as the night progresses, we go to another bar, and they won't let him in because he was creeping. He was doing some weird stuff. So we leave downtown Fullerton, and we go to this local bar in Chino Hills called Shamrocks. That's my hometown bar. I think everybody has a hometown bar, right? And that was my hometown bar. That's where all my friends, we'd meet up there. It was a family reunion every time we went. So we took John Doe there, and we're like, the night's still young. And he ends up slapping my friend's girlfriend's ass and then walks away. And then he tries to order a drink like nothing happened. So my other friend doesn't say anything, goes straight up to him and just punches him in the face. And then John Doe is surprised, like, why is he getting punched in the face? And he had no idea that he slapped his girlfriend's ass. And we were already partying the night before down at downtown Fullerton, and he met that couple. So he knew, we thought he knew who that girl was. So we ended up having to call him a taxi cab, throw him in there. And I told my buddy, hey, I don't know if we could ever hang out with this fool ever again. So fast forward to a couple months later, I was at a job where I disliked it. I was there for 8 years. I worked at a tire shop, and I just hated it. So I was like, you know what? I need to get out of this. And I decided, one of the guys from Montana, I knew him for about a year. He was a bar buddy of mine. So we went out partying and stuff. So for a whole year, I got to know him, and we just clicked very well. And he told me he's a regional manager for telecom and this and that, blah, blah. And I was just so desperate to get out of my job. I asked him, hey, can you give me a job, whatever you're doing? I see my friend making money through you, and they're progressing farther than me. I've been at this job for 8 years, and these guys have been here for maybe a year, and they're making more money than me. Is there any way you can give me a job? He said, yeah, I'll give you a job. But before you quit your job, go ahead and just work with us for 2 weeks. We'll pay you under the table. See if you like it, because I don't want you to quit your job and then you don't end up liking this. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was excited. I was working during the day from like 6 a.m. to about 6 p.m. And then I'd start my second shift of telecom from 7 to 8 p.m. to about 5 in the morning, just enough time to get to my second job. And I did that for about 2 weeks. So my very first day, it was a public storage place. I met up with my buddy, and I was like, cool, I'm actually going to work with one of my buddies from high school. I meet up with him at the site at the public storage area. And he says, just wait at the front gate. The foreman has to let us in. So I'm like, okay. So I see someone over yonder in the distance on a man lift, and he's slowly creeping up to the gates to open it up. And guess who it is? John Doe. So John Doe goes, hey, I'm going to be your foreman today. My name's John Doe. He shook my hand, and I was like, bro, I've met you before. He's like, no, I've never met you. And I was like, yes, I met you in downtown Fullerton. He's like, I kind of have a drinking problem. I blacked out. I don't remember any of that stuff. And I was like, yeah, it's funny how I've met you a couple times. And I was like, man, this is not going to be a good mix. But when he's sober, he's completely fine. We're really good friends to this day, but that was my introduction to telecom. Hopefully you think that's funny, because that's going to be kind of the stuff I'm going to be talking about. And I have a lot more stories about John Doe, about me and John Doe. My first couple years, I did a lot of partying and did telecom. So anyways, that's my entrance to telecom. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you decide you have a story you want to tell, or you want to come on podcast, one, I live in Southern California, so you could come to my place, or I could go to your place and schedule it, or we could also always do this on Skype, because I got some people on the East Coast, all over the country. So I definitely want to hear your story. I hope people want to hear your story, and I think we could get this going. So I'm going to try to do at least 2 podcasts a week, and 2 podcasts a month, and we'll see where this goes. Other than that, my name is Ryan Campbell. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you for listening to American Tower Climbers. We hope you enjoyed the ride.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
For more information and updates, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at American Tower Climbers.
I always follow him.
Until next time, take care, y'all.